So now we will go into our assignment, which is again, coding a calculator in Python. So here are the instructions for the assignment. For a simple calculator, you will first ask the user for an expression that they want you to solve. So for example, it could be something like 5 plus 5, and note that the input is specifically separated by spaces between the numbers and the operators. And then after you do that, you'll take it in, do some stuff with it, and then print out the result on a new line. And then the program should continue to ask the user for more input. And as an added bonus to program, make it that you can't divide by 0.
So for a programming project that we're going to do, here's some Python IDEs I can use. We'll be using online GDB since that's an easy to access source for everyone. And here's some helpful tips that you could use when you do this on your own. For example, to convert a string to a list, you can do any type of string .split, and then that way you can access certain indexes for certain values. You could put if statements inside of if statements if you want. You can check if strings are equal using the double equal sign. And if you want to convert a string to an integer, you do this thing called a casting, where you type the type that you want, such as int, short for integer, parentheses, and then your other variable. And that will change it to an integer. And once you're done working on it on your own, here will be some steps on how to do it.
All right, so if you finished coding it on your own and you want to see how we solve the problem, follow along with us. So we will be using, as we said, online GDB, which can be found in the link as you can see on your screen. So go to that website and you can follow along with us.
Okay, here, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to clear everything off the screen, and then we can start working on our project. So the first thing we want to do is ask for the input of what the user wants to type in. So we'll do something like, please type in your expression here, or type in your expression, or do some arithmetic. Here we'll do please enter in an expression. And now here, whatever they type in will be stored into the variable expression. And we could try that out right now. If you click the run button, it will print out, please enter an expression. And now if Ryan will type in anything and then press enter, the program will finish. We obviously didn't do anything with the variable, so nothing would occur.
Next thing we want to do is interpret the data that is in the variable expression now. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a new variable. I'm going to call it expression parts. And we're going to set that equal to our expression. And we're going to use the .split modifier on it to split the input into a list, and each entry is separated by a space. So if we give input correctly, we will have a list of 3 values. And in order to make our code readable, I'm going to make those 3 entries into 3 separate variables. So to represent the first number, I'm just going to make a variable called first num, and I'm going to set it equal to expression parts. And then because it's a list, we need to use our square bracket to get the 0th position. So this is the first number. And one extra thing we have to do with Python is, because the expression that was entered in by the user is considered a string, this first num will also be a string. But later on, we're going to have to use it in math. So we actually have to make sure it's of type int. So to do that, we're going to wrap it in the expression int. And by doing this, it ensures that the computer will know it's actually a number. So next, we're going to find our operator, and we're just going to set it equal to, like before, expression parts. Now we're getting the second value, so we use 1. And then finally, we do second number. And like the first one, we're going to do a wrap it in int and say expression parts of 2. So this will take in all of our input correctly. And to test that this actually does what we want, I'm going to put in a piece of code. We're going to get rid of it a little bit. I'm going to do a print, and I'm going to do print the first num. So I'm going to just copy that, print that. And then we're going to print operator. And then we're going to print second number. So now if we press run again, and I type in, let's do 5 plus 6. All right, first number 5, operator plus second number 6. So that code works correctly, good to know. So we will delete these because we don't need them and go to the next part of our program.
Great. Now that we have like the data separated out, we want to check what type of operator we want to use. So we're going to check if there's a certain plus symbol, we're going to use like the plus operator. In this situation, we're going to do multiple if statements to be able to check what the conditions are. So here we did if the operator is equal to the plus symbol. Now, don't forget, both the operator and the plus symbol are both strings. So here we're using double quotation marks to show that. So this says if the operator is equal to the plus symbol, then we want to do the math on that. And then we want to print that to the board right here. Mm-hmm. Yep, and this print statement, what it's doing right now is it's doing the first section, which is a string, and then the second part is the actual addition itself. So it's going to do the first part, and then it will do the next part. Now, if we want to do multiple, we want to do elif, because we only want to run certain bodies based on different conditions. So here we'll do the subtraction symbol. And we just have to change the arithmetic to the subtraction. Now we can pretty much copy all of that again for the multiplication, and it'll be pretty much the same thing. And now we could try it for division as well. Okay, and then we can also add in an else statement for if none of those things occurred. So say if it's not a plus, minus, multiplication, or divide, we could just have it print out wrong expression was given. All right. Now, if you don't remember, one of the parts of the assignment was actually checking for division. You can't divide by 0. So if the second number is 0, our thing would most likely error out, which Ryan can show you right now. If we run our program, and let's do this one first correctly. So let's do like 9 plus 2. And they printed out the answer is 11. That's really good. So, but well, it's going to probably error out if we divide it by 0. So let's do 9 divided by 0. Here you go. Now we got like an error saying division by 0 can't occur. So we're going to have to do another condition on checking on whether the second number is 0. So that could be another if statement. So here, if it is equal to 0, we say we cannot divide by 0. Otherwise, or another way of saying otherwise is else, we want to do the print statement. The answer is first num divided by second num. Another thing to note about conditionals is that in Python, the blocks are separated by indentations. So if you want only a certain block to appear, you have to have a certain indentation. for example, in the overall if operator is equal to plus, that indentation of the next line to print, that will be the thing that's under that body. So that way, if we look at the division part, both the if else is underneath the body of the division because it has the same indentation. And then there's another indentation for the second if statement. That's just a bit of Python, and that's very unique to Python itself. Other languages could be different.
Awesome. Okay, so our program works really well, as we could see. If I were to run it again, we can give it whatever math, like 3 minus 2, answer is 1. But if we remember back to when we assigned the problem, we want the computer to ask for the expression multiple times over, as many times as the user might want to do it, because it's kind of annoying to have to run the program every time you want to do something. So we're going to be adding in a while loop to fix this. So if we actually go to the very top before any of the code we've already written, and we make a new line, we can put in while, and then we give the expression. We want this loop to just run indefinitely. So we'll say while true. We put our thing there. So while true, and then like Yash said before, indentation is how we know that it's part of the expression. So if we highlight everything and tab it over, we press tab, everything highlighted should tab over. So now everything is within the while loop. So now if I run it again, ask for expression, maybe 4 times 5, we get answer is 20, awesome. And then ask for another expression. Well, we can just keep going. 3 divided by 2 gives you the answer. All right, and with that, we have finished coding our simple calculator in Python.
Thank you for watching.